Wow. Wow. I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I've never seen any. Where's Caroline? Where's my superstar? Caroline. Is Caroline in the back? Come here, Caroline. Come here. Is she doing a good job, by the way? Come here.
This is definitely the most packed briefing, and I think all of you would agree. I think it's why we need to build a ballroom.
Mr. President, I have a better idea.
No seats. It's quite beautiful. And then this is the
I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ball. Today we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. Deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. My father always used to tell me, I had a wonderful father, very smart, and he used to say, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in, because if the front door is dirty, the kitchen's dirty also. Same thing with the Capitol. If our Capitol's dirty, our whole country is dirty.
What we did in Virginia recently.
And you people are victims of it too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side. You don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. 41 per 100,000, number one that we can find anywhere in the world. Other cities are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that. Is that where you want to live? When you walk down the street, you're going to see police, or you're going to see FBI agents. We're going to have a lot of agents on the street. And we will bring in the military if it's needed. People say, oh, that's so terrible. He's going to bring in, it's been used many times over the years. You know, if you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible. But I'm very competent. And you'll be so happy, because you'll be safe.
They will lose in the midterms.
This is a time to stand together, and it's also a time.
Trump! Dealing with President Xi.
I can't say that, given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised. This year, crime isn't just down from 2023, it's also down from 2019, before the pandemic, and we're at a 30-year violent crime low.
It's like you remove people, but what problems does that fix? It doesn't really do anything for the health of the city, I feel like.
Growing up in Washington, D.C., it's very hard to see this city being captured by Donald Trump and making everybody live in fear.
It is not about safety, it is about control, it is about power, and it is about fascism and authoritarianism. If Donald Trump wanted to keep D.C. safe, he would fund housing and supports. Instead, the Republicans just gutted healthcare, and they're passing through a budget that will make homelessness worse. They do not care about helping people. They do not care about safety. They care about power and control.
All of these people are really tough. Could I shake your hand, Gaddy, please? You're going to be so important here. You're going to be... I hope I don't have to fire him in 2 weeks because he's too soft. I don't think he's too soft. If I do, I will, though. Is it okay? If you're soft, weak, and pathetic, like so many people, I will fire you so fast.
Let me be crystal clear. Crime in D.C. is ending, and ending today. We are going to use every power we have to fight criminals here. President, thank you for caring about our capital. We work together, we fight. Do not underestimate one person in this room.
We are going to clean up Washington, D.C., and we're going to make sure Washington, D.C. is safe again.
They love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they get hit real hard. Now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This morning, the shooter is now in custody. And we're going to have it. And that includes cleanliness and includes...
We are really over-policed city already, and I just feel like DC should be a state.
Very quickly, like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to...
People should exercise their right to protest.
We all know that, right? We all know.
No one community or
The son that a mother has lost her child.
The greatest.
A lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. But then I'm going to look at New York in a little while. Let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's see. It's going to go pretty quickly. And if we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent. He's an incompetent man. So look. Let's just do this. This city will no longer be a sanctuary for illegal alien criminals, and we'll deploy officers across the district with an overwhelming presence. Some designers said, well, we need a quarter of an inch more.
Political theater. His idea in federalizing the police force of D.C. ignores the reality.
This was unprecedented and unnecessary.
The first thing that a totalitarian dictator tries to do is to seize the capital city.
I think this is long overdue. I've been one of the National Guards in this area for years. I like it. I love it. I feel safe already.
They are installing a fascist America and a fascist takeover of D.C. It is time to unite, not to fight each other the way they want us to do. And it is time to get people into the streets. To get people into the streets.
This should be a winning issue for all Americans. It's just anything President Trump does, the Democrats want to disagree with. President Trump will not be deterred by soft-on-crime Democrats and media activists who refuse to acknowledge this rampant violence on our streets. He is going to make our nation's capital the most beautiful and safe city on earth.
By the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly. 800 DC National Guardsmen that we'll put on, and much more if necessary. Much more. They'll immediately begin massive enforcement operations targeting known gangs, drug dealers, and criminal networks to get them the hell off the street, maybe get them out of the country.
And my message to the National Guard and federal law enforcement in Washington is, we have your back as well. Be tough, be strong, we're right behind you.
We're going to make DC beautiful. We're going to make DC safe again.
Organizations cannot be free.
The National Guard is not law enforcement, so it's always going to be disconcerting when we have military basically guarding the streets of an American city and their own residents.
I can't predict where this president will move next, but I will tell you, this is no way to solve the problem of violent crime.
If they can strip the autonomy of the capital city, of a major city like Washington, D.C. in broad daylight, if they can place us under military control without our consent, they will carry this playbook to every community that dares to push back in the United States of America.
Locking up people you don't like or don't want to see is textbook authoritarianism. Trump is testing opinion. by focusing on groups that he believes to have little public sympathy, like folks who live outside.
One of the social media posts about moving them very far outside of the city. Is that off?
No, it's not off. We're exploring how we could do that. But again, homeless shelters, offered addiction and mental health services, or jail if they refuse are the options on the table right now. And we'll continue to explore that option.
There are a lot of reports that ICE agents detained a 15-year-old student with disabilities outside an LA high school, even leaving bullets on the sidewalks.
Where'd you see that report?
LA Times.
Okay, well, I'll have to look into the veracity of that report. I read the LA Times almost every single day, and they are notorious for misleading the public.
And you people are victims of it too, you know. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, DC, 41 per 100,000, number one that we can find anywhere in the world. Other cities are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that.
Trump is leaving out important context. The U.S. in general sees higher violent crime rates than many other countries. And while Washington is among the nation's most dangerous cities, others have higher crime rates.
How we got here or what we think about the circumstances right now. We have more police and we want to make sure we're using them.
Cash is going to talk to you in a minute about what we did in Virginia recently.
The existing statute is in place precisely for the reason wild, out of control rioting or invasion by a foreign power seeking to invade our capital. Those things are not in place now. But if the public sort of shrugs its shoulders and says, oh yeah, there's Trump being Trump again, then he'll keep on pressing.
Yeah, I've always been proud of America, and this is the first time that I'm really scared of the direction our country is headed.
Already they're saying, he's a dictator. The place is going to hell. But they say, he's a dictator. And then they end up getting mugged, and but the stats are very bad. I don't want to call national emergency. If I have to, I will.
You have not yet met with Democratic leadership, but there's a funding deadline at the end of September. Do you plan to meet with Leader Schumer and Leader Jeffries to discuss that situation?
Well, I will, I guess, but it's almost a waste of time to meet because they never approve anything. If we want money to fight crime, if we want money to do only good things, just good things. Let's not even talk about controversial. They don't want to meet about anything. They really are. They're stuck. Probably more, I would say more than half are sane, but they are led by insane people. They say, just say no. They go, oh, just say no. As an example, bail. We want to make it so that people, if they murder somebody, they're in jail. They don't get out on no bail. They say, we don't want that. We want people to murder somebody and they immediately are released and they go out and murder somebody else. It's a big problem, a tremendous problem. So we're going to meet with them, of course. I'd like to meet with them. I don't believe that anybody is capable of making a deal with these people. They have gone crazy. Go ahead.
If the decision by the White House ultimately does reduce crime in D.C., are you willing to give any credit to the White House for that?
Well, you're using the phrase ultimately. Again, we have been driving crime down for the last several years.
And anyone who wants to tell me that crime is down and that we don't need an emergency focus on crimes of violence, all they need to do is take a look at this and talk to the loved ones and the family members of these individuals, all shot and killed long before their time. No more of this DC, council, if they're under 16 or if they're under 19 or if they're under 25, we'll give them probation. No more. I'm done with that.
Press release hailing the drop in crime rates at the end of it. What changed?
It's never enough. This changed. This changed. It's never enough. You tell the kid who was just beat the hell and back with a severe concussion and a broken nose, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight. Thank you.
You're going to see a big change in Washington crime stats very soon. Well, they're not the stats that they gave, because they turned out to be a total fraud. The real stats, the stats went through the roof. They had a man that was forced to put up stats like they were doing better. They're not doing better. Crime is the worst it's ever been, but it started as of about yesterday. You see a big change, and people are feeling safe already. I've had so many calls, thank you, sir, thank you. They were afraid to walk out. They're not afraid anymore. If one thing happens all year, Pam, you better be good, because they'll say Trump did not fulfill this. One person gets a little injured by somebody, they'll say Trump did not fulfill his promise. Fighting crime is a good thing. We have to explain. We're going to fight crime. Designer said, we need a quarter of an inch more turn. Some of these out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern.
Your federalization of the police has a 30-day limit unless Congress acts to extend it. Are you talking to Congress about extending it, or do you believe 30 days is sufficient?
Well, if it's a national emergency, we can do it without Congress, but we expect to be to Congress, before Congress, very quickly. And again, we think the Democrats will not do anything to stop crime, but we think the Republicans will do it almost unanimously. And it's going to pertain initially to D.C. We're going to use it as a very positive example. And we're going to be asking for extensions on that, long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days.
The president's authority is never over. The president's going to do what he has to do to make this country safe again in every city in this nation.
The president is able to control our city the same way he may be trying to control other cities in the very near future.
The problem with our criminal justice system in the District of Columbia is because we're not a state, which is of course why we want DC stated, the federal government controls the judiciary. It's actually up to President Trump to appoint the judges that sit on our local superior court. We have a record number of vacancies. He has not made those appointments.
Why the district has been held back for so long, it's the only capital city in the Western world where the residents of that capital city have no representation in its Congress. And I think one of the best ways to do that, DC should be the 51st state.
Statehood is ridiculous. We want to straighten the place out. Statehood's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. It's the Democrats want it because the Democrats have, about 95% in this little area. Even I didn't get it very much. They want that. They want to pick up 2 senators, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.